Inquisitive mind, thank you for the super chat. If the Quran is from God, then I'm the Tooth Fairy's accountant, Batman's driving instructor, Hulk's anger management coach, and the Pope's personal barber. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ghost of Myth Vision here in the house today. Thank you so much.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code.
Here's something that's taking me way too long to learn. Staying focused is like beating addiction. It's not a one-time victory. You have to fight it all day, every day. Then wake up and do it again tomorrow. Because the thing that's going to distract you is going to change every day. The thing that's going to trigger your addiction to distraction is going to keep morphing and changing its form so that it can steal or rob you of your future. And so you have to be adaptable in knowing that you have to fight it every day. And so it's not good enough to just say I was focused for this week. You've got to wake up on the 8th day and the 9th day and do it again. And so you remember that guy who got rich drop shipping and day trading and buying crypto and wholesaling all at the same time? Yeah, me neither. Focus. To win in business, you need to be able to say no without remorse and hear no without a loss of enthusiasm.
So what he's trying to say is that you have to say no because at the end of the day, no is the best answer for the plan of attack for now. Saying no, stating why, stating beliefs even when you had nothing.
Which means that you have to keep feeling rejection, keep failing, and keep going while being willing to reject basically everyone else. And that seems so counter because you're right there and you're like, man, I don't want to reject this person because I know what it feels like to be rejected. You need to be able to maintain this discrepancy so that you can create the space to do the work that needs doing. So
because if you don't do the work that is doing, other people will fill the hole, fill the space of the work that is yet to be done and yet to be said and yet to be unsaid, which is why the work that needs to be done today. For me, that's recording 5 to 10 times per day, and this is day 2 of posting 5 YouTube videos a day, and I am not going to stop. I'm just going to continue on making content way better for you guys and make it in my own standards because that's the only standards that fit the gap is my standards.
There have been a couple of lessons that I have learned over and over again in my career. I've had to relearn. So it's a lot like a fine wine. It's like it gets better with age and there's more nuance to the flavor. So I think focus is not are you focused or not, it's how focused are you? And you can measure someone's focus by, again, the quality and quantity of things that they say no to, which means that as you get better, more opportunities will emerge, which is interesting because people who start out can't see opportunity anywhere. And it's because they have so few skills. And so there's very few opportunities for them. When you have a lot of skills, there are so many opportunities that are in front of you that
when you have a lot of skills, there's too many opportunities in front of you that are waiting to be planned, attacked, and unsaid. So, you can do with what you have now and build skills up now. But then what, at the end of the time, what and where do you see your life going? Because for me, I see my life going within the long run of my life, which could be anything. Could be from self-respect to self-discipline to self-understanding. Whatever it is, I'm understanding about myself that I need to get the work done. And if I don't do the work, other people will beat me at that game. And when other people beat you at the game, then of course, other people are winning. For me, I'm only gaining like 2 to 10 views a video, which is terrible. But I really hope you guys like this content. I hope you guys subscribe because I need the community to build within myself because I have 6 months of doing nothing. So, besides working, I took a break off for 1 semester and I'm just going to do full-time content creation and lock in where nobody can understand me. Which is why I'm going to continue on posting because the more content I post, the better leverage it is for me, in my personal opinion. And I think Hormozi would agree with me too, that the more leverage I have, the better it is to gain the time that is wasted on other stuff. That's why I'd rather make content than sit on my ass doing nothing. Even if it's live streaming, that's still content. So
You feel like you're missing out. But the real opportunity is actually in solving the problems in front of you. I was able to, in my opinion, become another order of magnitude greater in terms of entrepreneurship, which I would just measure by wealth. Once I was able to learn to say no and accept that I would not be able to pursue the many things that I know I could crush. Because once you realize how much actual work it takes to make something good, you realize how few things you're actually going to be able to do in your entire life.
I like that, because the more things you try to strive to become, it means the better it is for your version of yourself that is waiting to be curated, dictated, told, said. Because without any of this work, any of this effort, any of this dedication, it can lead down paths where you never know where they could last. And through this, you may never know where this building or this understanding will lead you to, which is why that's how I got so good at basketball and so good at content creation, in my opinion, is because I kept on going. I never quit. I never stopped. I never did anything. That's why I was so good at tennis, and that's why I was the number one doubles and singles player on my squad, because I dedicated that to the moment. And when you dedicate it to the moment, you can do with whatever time you have left. So don't waste your life. Don't waste your time.
And so this is why picking becomes so important. Right now, the things that you're going to have to say no to are really the distractions and kind of, in some ways, easy. Say no to fantasy football, say no to drinking beers with the boys, going out with the club, whatever. But in a year from now, once you...
Because the club will always be open. The only thing that will not be open is your dreams. So do with what you want now with the dreams that you are stating to have stated about. Because the clubs are always open, the bars are always open, the restaurants are always open. The only thing that's not open is your time, your value, and your dreams.
Have more skills, there will be more opportunities. You're going to have multiple $10,000 a month income opportunities that you're going to have to say no to stick with the one that you have. And then once that thing becomes a $100,000 a month thing that you're doing, you're going to have to start saying no to multiple $100,000 a month opportunities. And here's the thing with opportunities that come up. They only show you the upside and not the downside. You have to know where the skeletons are buried. You have to know where the bodies are. If you don't know, and I've gone through this visual because I think about it every single time I have to walk through not doing something. You are here. You see this new opportunity here. Then you understand the downsides here. Then you live the downsides. Then you experience the upside. Then you achieve your goal. And so this is the starting point. This is called uninformed optimism. Mm-hmm. This is now informed pessimism. Mm-hmm. This is the valley of despair. And this is where most people quit. But what they do is they don't even quit because they don't want to say they quit. What they do is they start another one of these things. And they say, oh, this is now my uninformed optimism. And then, oh, now I understand this more. But the thing is that they never actually get through to this upside. And so they just keep jumping from thing to thing to thing over and over again. And so the reason it takes so long is because you're in a rush. Big things don't happen on small timelines because you have to start from zero over and over again. And if you actually stick with it, it's actually the shortest way to get to where you want to go. It just takes longer than you think. Must be easy for you to say is probably something that you might think while watching this or listening to this. And I like to tell the story because in July of 2017 is when I started my podcast. And it was 90 days after I lost everything, the last time. And from that point until now, it's taken that period of time to get to over 1 million downloads a month. And for the first 3 years, and I was making multiple podcasts, so we're talking 300-400 episodes. For the first few years, I never really cracked 3,000 downloads a month. And so I could say, man, why is this taking so long? But the real is that it took me that long to get good. It also, being extra real, took me that long to have proof on the outside that what I was saying was true on the inside. And right now, no one who listens to my podcast cares that it took me 7 years to get here. They just care that it's good today. And so people quit here when things get hard because the thought of something being hard forever is unbearable. They think that
The thought of being something hard is unbearable. That is the rock bottom. That's the cutscene of where your rock bottom is. The Rocky montage and the cutscene in the movie where you don't know where your life will lead. That is the part. The part of rock bottom is where you are at with rock bottom and how you persevere through the struggles and through the addictions and through the perseverances of that next chapter, of that next scene, of that next belief, of that next pattern.
this line is just going to keep going this way forever. But it's not. Because once you fully understand all the bodies, where the skeletons are hidden, then you can actually start solving them one by one. The thing is that distraction only is distracting because you don't know what sucks about it. You might think you know what sucks about it, but you don't know what sucks about it. And so the big difference is you have something called declarative versus procedural knowledge. And so there's two types of learning, and this is actually formal. This is from academia. So you have declarative knowledge, which is knowing about something.
People are changing the world with AI.
So if you go memorize a fact or you learn how private equity works, right? This is knowing about. The other type of knowledge is procedural, which is knowing how to. And so a lot of people mistake declarative knowledge for procedural. And so they mistakenly think that if they watch 10 videos on doing a private equity deal, that it means they understand how to do a private equity deal. Or they watch 10 videos on cold outbound and they think it means they understand how to do cold outbound. Or 10 videos on sales and so forth. But you're never really going to learn how to do it until you do it. And so you're going to learn more from your first 100 cold.
What he means by that is the more effort you put in, the more volume you produce, the more consistent outcomes that you have. The more consistent you are with your uploads, with your vision, with your business, the better you are at gaining advice and getting expertise, is what he's implying. So the more consistent volume you do, the more outbound you get within cold calls, within whatever.
Calls, your 100 cold knock on doors than you will from 100 books or videos that you watch. But I have good news. Nothing hard lasts forever. There's only 3 things that can happen. You either quit, it gets easier, or you get better. So no matter what, it always ends. You only lose when you quit before you see it all the way through. And I think that's incredibly encouraging. So no matter how hard whatever it is that you're doing is, which by the way just means that your expectation doesn't match reality, but no matter how hard
your expectation doesn't match your reality. Whatever your reality is, whatever it is, the understanding, the belief pattern, the thought pattern, knowing that it will not change and you will not get better. You will get better because you won't get worse. You'll just get better, or you live through that montage to get the better understanding.
it is, you either quit, it gets easier because something changes externally, or you get harder, something changes internally. But no matter what, it will end. Think about it like you're mining for gold, right? You're chiseling away underground and you've got this pile of gold. You don't know how far away it is, but it's underground and you're digging towards it. This difficulty of swinging the pickaxe can end when, one, you walk out of the mine and say, you know what? Marketing doesn't work. Sure. The second is that all of a sudden you hit a soft patch and then you're like, oh my God, I'm digging so much faster now. This is great. And then you get to the gold. Or you just start swinging the axe harder because you get more muscled, you get more efficient with your movements, and you just keep chiseling away, even if it goes from dirt to rock. You just keep chiseling away at a slower pace, but you eventually break through and get there. But in all 3 of those scenarios, hard doesn't last forever. Real quick, if you're a business owner and you're not...
That's all I have for you guys, and that's all that he has for you guys. So just stay focused, do with what you want, and do with what you have with the time that you have now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, stay yourself and be unique to you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.